Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Apologies if my voice is a little bit lispy today. Not taking the mickey out of anybody at all. Yesterday when I was eating lunch, I bit the back of my tongue about here. And it's all swollen up. And so it's actually quite difficult for me to speak normally. So I'm sort of speaking a bit like this right now. So if any of you watch it, just like, oh, are you taking the piss, mate? Are you taking the piss out of me, mate? And it's not. I promise you. Right, let's get on with the Mandalorian Episode 7 review, The Reckoning. This is the penultimate episode of Season 1, and it was an absolute doozy. Incredible. Absolutely incredible episode. This series has been so consistently good, so well written, and yeah, I mean that's all I can really say. Now, there is a very specific reason why it was actually brought forward from Friday to Wednesday of this week, and it wasn't just because it didn't want to conflict with people going to the cinema to see Star Wars. They needed to have this show before Star Wars was released to the general public. I'm not going to tell you why. I'm just going to leave that there. And you can figure it out if you go watch Star Wars. So, let's get into the meat and potatoes of it. As regards to what I thought the episode, amazing, like I said. Strongest episode to date. There's already been a 10 out of 10. And I'll just tell you right now, same, you know. It was so well put together, this episode, and all the little interconnecting things that have happened throughout the series so far sort of come together, and then we get an incredible ending to the show, which, oh boy, next week's episode is going to be something. That is all I can say. It's going to be rather incredible. Now, starts off. I'm so sorry. In the cockpit, baby Jesus, Yoda, is sleeping. So cute. Real men love Baby Yoda. That's what I'm going to say. And sleeping away, and then Mando hits his communication button, and Carl Weathers pops up. And he's just like, yo, if you're getting this, you're alive. Well, guess what? I'm alive as well. Let's just call it quits at that, shall we? I've got a proposal for you. The guy that you stole Baby Yoda from, he is real pissed. He really wanted that baby, and when you did it, he's just brought in more and more troops to the town. We can't get on with our work of bounty hunting. It's really kind of getting in the way. So we want you to come back and kill him. You do that, we'll pay you handsomely, and you'll never be chased again. We'll call it quits. Nobody will chase you. You can take the baby. You can go do what you want. We don't care. He said, a man of honor shouldn't have to be on the run. So Mando's just like, for God's sake, this is totally a trap. This is totally a trap. But he also realizes that if he doesn't go into the trap, if he doesn't fall for the trap, then he'll never know for sure. So it's 99% chance a trap, but it's always that 1% chance that it might be real, and then he gets rid of the guy, they call it quits, and he can have a quiet life. So he appreciates that he has to fall for these things. He's not stupid. This is not a dumb move. He knows it's a calculated risk that he'll have to take. So, he doesn't go in blind. He goes back to the planet from episode 3 or 4, whichever one it was, and meets back up with Gina Carano, who's, hey! She's having a bit of a fight in the bar for money, sanctioned fight. All the people who complained about Gina Carano in her last episode, seriously, get over it. She's a trained UFC fighter. She was absolutely right for the role. Maybe not the best actress in the world, I'll give you that, sure. But don't question her legitimacy. If she'll come round to your house and she'll kick the shit out of you. All day, every day. Guaranteed given. So button it before you get it. So he goes and recruits her. He says, hey, I got a job. Do you fancy making some money? And she's like, yeah, not really, no. And then he says, okay, it's going to be against a bunch of Imperials. And she's like, oh, alrighty then. I'm in. Because she's ex-Republic. She's always looking, the voice is completely screwed, always looking for a fight against the Imperials. So he recruits her, and then he realises that, they're going to be doing a lot of donkey business, and so he needs more people. So he goes back to the original planet, not Tatooine, looks like but isn't Tatooine, and meets back up with his friend who helped him, and he's called. He gives his name. He's like Q-Eel or something like that. That's what he calls himself. And he's like, hey, I need your help. I've got to do a thing, but I need somebody to look after the Baby Yoda. So he's like, all right, come into my tent. Let's have a chat. And then when they're in the tent, IG-11 walks in. The robot. The robot that he killed in the first episode walks in. And Mando's, and they're both like, wait! It's like, whoa. I salvaged the body from when he killed him, due to the rights of the Republic, law, and all this kind of stuff. And I rebuilt him. I rebuilt him, not to be, a bounty hunter, but to be a servitude, just, help round the farm and stuff. It took a while. The rehabilitation took a while. And we had this really, what I thought was rather cool rehabilitation scene, where it shows IG-11 getting rehabilitated. And it just, I think purposely as well, kind of reminded me of, potentially a wounded soldier, legit wounded soldier here. That has to return back to civilian life, can't do what they were trained to do anymore. And they have to, do the basic things like learn to walk again, learn to carry again, learn to talk, all this kind of stuff because of the injuries that they've sustained in battle. It's quite sad. It's very sad, in actual fact. And I did find this, a little bit heartwarming, to be honest with you. So he's going to come along with them as well. And Kuil says, look, he's not got any of that training in him anymore. But Mando's really, really skeptical. It's like, look, he was built and programmed to kill. That is what he's always going to be and always going to do. And of course, we know that Mando's got this huge distrust of robots due to when he was a kid, and they massacred his village and family, probably, and all that stuff. Excusez-moi. So they have, a little bit of heart-to-heart. They take take some creatures on board with them as well, and they head off. They head off to meet Carl Weathers on not Tatooine. Or is it Tatooine? Whatever. No, it's not Tatooine, but whatever planet. So they start discussing what's going to happen, and Baby Yoda clearly understands, although they're a little kid, clearly understands what's being said. And Baby Yoda sort of takes control of the ship, tries to fly the ship away. And they just think that Baby Yoda's mucking about, but no, clearly he's scared. He doesn't want to go back. He doesn't want to go back to these people, doesn't want to see these people again or anything like that whatsoever. And so that, but I don't think they're quite clued in. So he meets up with Carl Weathers on the planet, and he's like, right, here's the plan. These guys, there's 3 guys behind him. These guys are my boys. They're gonna make sure that this job goes according to plan. We need to take the Baby Yoda to him, and then gives us the opportunity to kill the guy. And he's just like, no, there's no way that I'm giving you Baby Yoda. You take me, the Mandalorian, as the hostage. And he says, yeah, but it doesn't. And then when I get close to him, I'll kill him. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't work that way. because he wants the Baby Yoda. So they're like, all right, we'll have this, but we'll place the Baby Yoda in Creel's care, and we'll take this empty but closed, so it looks like he's in. That'll give us our in to get inside, and then once we're inside, pew, kill him. He says there's only 4 guards in the inside. So like, right, 4 guards plus him, 5 people, no problem. But again, he clearly realizes this is likely a trap. So they're like, okay, done. So they camp for the night, and they're all by the fireplace. And while they're camping and just having a little bit of a chit chat, they are attacked by winged beasts from the sky. Kind of reminded me of Morrowind. The Elder Scrolls Morrowind, where those bloody annoying beasts kept coming flying down. So there's lots of them. They take the transportation, apart from one of the creatures. They take one of the other bounty hunter guys that came with Carl Weathers. And Carl Weathers gets torn by one of the creature's claws. And apparently they have like a poison tip claw, and it poisons, and they only got to have 1 med pack, which they use, and it's not enough. It's not enough, and Carl Weathers is gonna die because the poison is gonna spread. But little baby Jesus Yoda, baby Jesus Yoda, I've jumped on a bit too far. Baby Jesus Yoda crawls out of his cot and places his hand onto Carl Weathers and heals Carl Weathers. There you go. And Carl Weathers is like, what the... So, this is where the episode really turns around. And this is where the episode got my heart. Because Carl Weathers is also a man of honor, which we now discover. And he's just had his life saved by this baby. This baby, which is walking into a trap. Because this is all a trap. Of course it's a trap. Mando knows it's a trap. Everyone knows it's a trap. It's a trap! And Carl Weathers kills the other 2 bounty hunters that are with him. And it says, you can kill me. That's fine, because I deserve it. This is a trap. He said, but I can't send you into this trap after what Baby Yoda did to me. He saved my life. You know, I owe him my life. So Carl Weathers is a man of honor. And I was just like, yes! Because I like Carl Weathers, and I liked him at the early part of the series. So he's like, here's the skinny. Here's what's going on. We were going to lead you into a trap, get Baby Yoda, blah, 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 blah. All that sort of stuff. What do we do now? So that's where they come up with the idea to take the Mandalorian instead of Baby Yoda. Take Baby Yoda out of that, so it looks like Baby Yoda's in there. And then Gina Carano acts as if she is actually a bounty hunter that captured the Mandalorian. So they have their own little trick now to play. And they decide not to kill Carl Weathers. And the Baby Yoda will actually stay with Creel instead. Oh boy, things start kicking off. So we get into town. It's all very cowboyish. It's so cool. So we come into town. We've now got speeder bikers here. We got more stormtroopers everywhere. And they were like, hey, you said there were 4 stormtroopers. And he's like, yeah, inside the building, inside the room, not outside. Outside there's a lot. Hands over his ID badge. Says, here's my ID. The bus driver says, hey, I'll give you 20 credits for the Mandalorian's helmet. It's just like, get out of here. I'm gonna put his helmet on my wall. I'm gonna put his helmet on my wall, mate. So they get inside and they meet up with Vernon Huggs. He's been really cool as just sort of like malevolent ex-Imperial guy. I've really liked it. We've got the Stormtroopers for hire inside with their mucky outfits, of course, because they're no longer part of the Imperial. And they don't care, you know, they're just working for crust or whatever. So they sit down, and he's just like, this baby is very important to me. I want a baby. So he does that, yes, and that was an accent. And then he's like, let me see the baby. And then Carl Weathers is like, well, you can't see the baby's sleeping. We can't open this up because the baby's sleeping. And then just before he's like, well, just open it up anyway, one of the Stormtroopers comes up, you got a message. You have to forgive me. You have to forgive me. I must take this message. So he goes off to receive the message and, just jumped a little bit too far ahead. And the message is actually what looks like an Imperial warlord, ex-Imperial warlord. And he's like, do you have the Baby Yoda? And he's like, yes, I have the Baby Yoda. I have it in my possession right now. It's sleeping at the moment. And he's just like, I think you'll find things aren't quite as they seem. And he's like, what? What do you mean? And then, pew 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 pew. There is fire coming from outside, and it annihilates all the Stormtroopers and our ex-Imperial warlord, while the Mando and everyone else take cover. And everybody, apart from them, are annihilated in the room. We then get a bunch of glistening Stormtroopers, not mucky Stormtroopers, glistening Stormtroopers come out. And a bunch of Death Troopers were the ones that did the killing. Oh my god! That is a bit of a Star Wars boner. So we've got this big platoon of Stormtroopers, Death Troopers, and then a line I never thought I would ever say in my life. I never knew I needed to say this line. But a line which now makes my life complete. And alien overlords, you may take me to your leader from here on in. I have completed my mission on Earth. Once I say this line. Gus Fring arrives in a TIE fighter. Why didn't they ever do that in Breaking Bad, huh? Why didn't they ever do... Missed out on an opportunity. Too late. Too late. Sorry. Too late. Mandalorian did it. So this really cool looking TIE fighter comes in. You can see how the wings can straighten and can flat and all that kind of stuff. And then Gus Fring comes out and he's just like, holy shit, get Baby Yoda back to the ship. Do the shutdown protocols so nothing can get inside the ship. However, there is another trap which has been laid. A trap upon a trap, because Gus Fring didn't clearly trust the other Imperial guy and expected things to go awry. And he actually has his speeder bike guys at the front listening in to communications. They're on the right channel. So they listen in to the Mandalorian saying, get Baby Yoda back to the ship. And they're like, boom, on the speeder bikes, zoom. They go after Kuil. So we now get this kind of standoff to get back to the ship in time, while Gus Fring is just like, hola, senor. And just as we see Kuil get to the ship, it cuts back to here, and then it cuts back, and Baby Yoda is motionless on the floor, probably unconscious. The speeder bike goes past, scoops him up to take him back. It pans to Kuil, who's dead on the floor. He never made it back to the ship. So R.I.P. Kuil. Sorry, my eye's just naturally doing that because of stuff. And this is where it ends on the cliffhanger. So what have we got for the last episode? Heroes are all trapped. We've got IG-11 on the ship. we've got IG-11 on the ship. And the only way that IG-11 can help him is if IG-11 breaks his programming and becomes the killer. And that, of course, will prove to the Mandalorian that once you're a program killer, you're a program killer. So you can even see in his reflection in his armor as well, the stormtroopers. Oh, man. And the death troopers. Oh, my God. This was so good. This was so good. 10 out of 10. Absolute 10 out of 10. You couldn't ask for more in this episode. That's why it gets top marks. It had suspense. It had action. It had betrayal. It had loyalty. It had everything that you could possibly want. Setup and pay. You know, the setups have all been there throughout the season. All the people that he calls upon. This is a great show. And there's only one episode left. So, hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links are in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. Hopefully with a slightly less swollen tongue. You take care. Bye for now.